Hey, man.
You're with Fort Mill, right?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Lineup for tonight, or
Yeah.
that is?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay.
That's juniors.
Oh, that's junior. So
Yeah.
I need to go get it.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, thank you. help me out with the pronunciation of some of these?
Sure.
In particular, this symphonic 3.
Yeah. Let's just roll through them real quick. Eli Craddock, Nico Bartolotti, Jonathan Barshow,
Simmons,
Gabe Simmons, Sam Chiz,
Sam Chiz, just Chiz.
Chiz, Jager Pankowski,
Pankowski, okay.
Hunter Busquet, Drew Gaff, Nick Kreis.
Nick Price. Okay, so basically Bortolotti or whatever.
Yeah, Bartolotti.
Bartolotti. Oh, Bartolotti. That's it. Okay. Bartolotti.
Yeah, he didn't write it.
Barshow.
It's an A.
Barshow.
Yeah, Barshow.
Barshow. Simmons.
Chiz.
Chiz. Just Chiz. Okay. Penos. Barshow. Simmons.
Chiz.
Chiz. Just Chiz. Okay. Pankowski.
Busquet.
Okay. Gaff and Kreis.
Kreis. That's right.
Yep.
You got it.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Just double checking, making sure I-
Oh, 100%. I understand. I do it all the time myself. Jager. Yep. If you run into something, let me know, man. I'll be glad to help. If you run into something, let me know. I'll be glad to help. Yep.
Hey, do you have a lineup for
He has a written copy of it. I just have a picture.
Okay, he has a copy of it.
Yes, sir.
Come and check that light. I told Ms. Eubanks about that light.
Breakers.
So you got that light to come on right? That's the light right here. That second pole from the
I think it's all now. Got it now. Yeah, we got both sides, but that one pole has been out. I think it went out either Monday or Tuesday. Went out there.
It's always something, ain't it?
Be like old
Always
as me though.
Every single day.
I'm 47. I played 94 lights. They're the same.
Same lights. Yep.
They overdue to be replaced. You know what I'm saying? Way over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's talking about left center.
Yeah, right there. That second set of lights right here. Really need a third pole out in the corner.
The sad part is that these lights actually do a better job than the new age LEDs that just point down
You think so?
and then shine. Oh, I know so. The ball goes above the light fixture itself, it literally disappears, especially in the dusk. Oh, yeah. The ball literally, in the playoffs against Bowling Springs 2 years ago, the kid went up like this. Ball went above the lights. By the time he saw it, it banged him off the nose, broke his nose, bleeding all over the place. Brand new lights, but the ball disappears. The ball doesn't disappear in these lights. You still have a little bit of a shadow of it. Yeah. So I'd rather have the old school than the, yeah. Yeah, well, if it sounds too good to be true.
Right?
48. No, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Greenville. Yeah.
I remember them guys. I played.
What is the same thing as it's hotter in Hades? You good?
See the direction they're in now. You're going the opposite way. I remember that one like that.
Oh, so each one controls a different.
Right. So okay. Where's that now?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Which of them?
Thank you.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And on behalf of our athletic director, Meg Banks, who's already pacing back and forth, senior head coach Tom Skula, I'm John Turner. Blessed and honored to be the voice of Fort Mill Post 43 baseball. Welcome in, everybody, to a Friday night. Hope everybody has had an outstanding week. Hope everybody is staying cool because it has been HOT hot all week long. But thankfully, no rain, or at least not enough to really make a dent in anything. There was some rain earlier this afternoon, but thankfully it did not into the field conditions. So that is outstanding news. As we're ready for baseball, game 2 of a 4-game set between Fort Mill Post 43 and Lancaster Post 31. Let's go ahead and talk about where the league standings are at the moment. Rock Hill with a 1.5 game lead because of last night's victory over Fort Mill in pretty dominant fashion, to be honest with you. Now, is it over? Not really, not mathematically, but a lot of things have to happen. In other words, if Fort Mill would have won last night, Fort Mill controls their own destiny. Now, Rock Hill controls their own destiny because they won last night against Fort Mill. Fort Mill 1.5 games behind. But if Rock Hill loses twice to Winsboro and Fort Mill beats Lancaster in these next 3 games, Fort Mill will be the league champions based off of tiebreaker. But again, that's a lot of ifs and buts and candy and nuts and a lot of baseball to be played. In other words, you got to sweep a team like Lancaster. Not an easy thing to do. This is a very scrappy team, a very scrappy program. And even though Coach Jackson's on vacation, the coaches that are in his stead, you got Coach Sanders, Coach Barron, Coach Good, They're really good coaches. They're going to coach these kids up. They're really good players from Andrew Jackson, from Lancaster High School, all the area high schools around Lancaster County here in the Tri-County area, quote unquote. So if you go back to last year where Lancaster won the series 3-1, so this is not a layup by any stretch of the imagination. Let's go ahead and run through the starting lineups first for the visitors. For Fort Mill Post 43, leading off will be third baseman Eli Craddock. Batting second will be left fielder Nico Bartolotti. Batting third, center fielder Jonathan Barkshaw. Batting cleanup is the shortstop Gabe Simmons. Batting fifth in right field, number 11, Sam Chiz. Batting sixth at first base, number 24, Scott Young. Batting seventh at second, number 9, Jager Pankowski. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 12, Hunter Biscay. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 4, Drew Gaff. And on the mound tonight for Fort Mill Post 43 is Nick Price. Head coach Tom Skula, the all-time winningest coach in Fort Mill Post 43 history, 147 victories, assisted by Travis Collier, Jonathan Romano, and Joel Riley. Now for the homestand in Lancaster Post 31, they will look like this. Leading off the catcher, number 17, Brody Sanders, very talented player behind the dish, can run. Batting second, the shortstop, number 2, Landon Peavy. He's also really good. Batting third, first baseman, number 9, Braden Small. Batting cleanup, center fielder, number 10, Ashton Phillips. Batting fifth at third, number 13, Adam Wright. Batting sixth in right field, number 21, Jaden Young. Batting seventh in left field is number 30, Connor Griffin. Batting eighth at second, number 1, Reed Kazmierzak. Batting ninth, designated hitter, number 33, Carter Cox. And on the mound tonight for Lancaster Post 31 will be number 31, Hunter Gainey. So will the numbers luck shine on Lancaster tonight as number 31 will start for Post 31, or can Fort Mill come on the road and nab a victory in game 2 of this very important 4-game set? Now, Fort Mill and Rock Hill, they're kind of locked into the first and second positions in the league. What does that mean? It will determine who we get seeded against as we move into the playoffs. And again, there's nothing concrete yet from the South Carolina American Legion Baseball Association in reference to exactly what the playoffs will look like. So all we can do is basically opine on it, and it's simply that. It's just opinion and guesses until it officially comes out, and then we can have a much more concrete picture to look at. But if you fish first and second in your league, chances are pretty good you're going to have home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, no matter if it's a best of 3 or if it's a pool play type situation. But again, a tough place to play, very unique ballpark, 334 down the left field line, 330 to left center. I measured it before the game. It's 343 to the basically the party deck out in center field. If you go to the deepest part of the ballpark, that's where it is, 340, then 322, then 350 down the right field line. Go to the code of sportsmanship of the national anthem. Come back to you. You find folks who are listening to Post 43 Baseball on the We Are Broadcasting Network, powered by MixLR.
Be praised with my teammates. Keep my temper. Keep myself fit. Keep a stout heart in the feet. Keep my pride under victory. Keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy body. Play ball!
So let's play ball indeed. And looking out, they are working on the lights to try to get them all turned on and situated. The head umpire out in the field today is actually the head of umpires in South Carolina. He's a really good one, been around for a long, long time. Got to talk to him and the home plate umpire before tonight's game. Always great to catch up with those guys. They're ready to go. 2 really good ones. So no issues there tonight. Should be a lot of fun to see all these young men and the older guys do what we do best. Travis Collier having the conversation with the gentleman as we speak. So basically what we have is as I try to read. Okay, people are sending me messages. I'll have to get back to them on that. So the field condition is pretty good. It did rain earlier today around 10 o'clock this morning. It was raining, not hard, just enough to kind of get sprinkles on your windshield a little bit. Nothing to really worry about the playing surface. Coach Sanders was out there with a couple players before tonight's game. Make sure everything was raked up. Nice chalk, the old school look. It's chalk lines. I love that. As the old get off my lawn guy, seeing chalk on the lines, warmth to my heart. So Fort Mill will be wearing the navy tops, gray pants, navy hat. Lancaster going with the all white. I got to be honest with you. I like it a lot. The all white. White jersey says Post 31 in navy blue outlining gold. Navy blue hat with a Carolina blue bill. Lancaster with the P31 logo on the front in gold and baby blue. White pants and no stripes. So a great evening for baseball. Umpires are going to take their spot. The PA guys announced to everybody. We've done the code of sportsmanship. We're ready to rock and roll here in beautiful Lancaster, South Carolina. Fort Mill sitting at 8-5 overall on the season. Trying to make our record the old Dolly Parton, trying to make it 9-5. We are ready for baseball here at Post 31.
Leading off for Fort Mill.
About a 40 to 45 minute ride from the Milltown here to Lancaster, South Carolina, where the ballpark is right beside the Legion. Matter of fact, the Legion is off in the distance. Beautiful brick building right behind center field, right down what I affectionately call the Mendoza Highway. Highway 200 is off to our left. If you are a baseball fanatic, you know what the Mendoza line is. Eli Craddock will step in, and the first pitch of the ballgame from Hunter Gainey is the right-hander kicks and fires. Here it comes, and it almost hits him in the head. Ball one. We're officially underway. 6:59 p.m. It is a very cool and comfortable 92 degrees, 74% humidity. Pitch, fastball outside corner, call to strike. 1-1 to Eli. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight wherever you may be across the fruited plains. The rest of the defense for Lancaster here in just a moment. The 1-1 swung on, and here's a little looper in the left field. Left fielder comes on and makes the dive and catch. Oh, baby, what a play. Connor Griffin rips a base hit away from Eli Craddock, who tips his hat. 1 up and 1 down for Nico Bartolotti. So put a star by that bad boy.
Number 16, Nico Bartolotti.
The catcher is Brody Sanders. Third baseman is Adam Wright. The shortstop is Landon Peavy. Second baseman is Reed Kazmierzak. Braden Small at first. Front door change up for a strike to Bartolotti. Your outfield from left to right for Post 31 is Connor Griffin, Ashton Phillips, Jaden Young. Gainey kicks and fired. The pitch is swung on and sprayed onto the Mendoza Highway. Quickly 0-2 to Clover graduate Nico Bartolotti. Top of the first, nobody on, 1 out. This league has been not for the faint of heart, and we knew that going in. The pitch swung on and missed. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 2 up and 2 down for Jonathan Barshow. Fort Mill looking to get some base knocks and kind of string them together here tonight, because last night was a 1-hit showing for Fort Mill, so got to bounce back quickly. Pitch from Gainey, breaking ball off the outside corner like a slider. Apologies for the camera angle. That's about as good as I can make it happen. If you want to, you can watch it on Game Changer. Ryan Chiz is down below. He's sitting right behind the fence, third base side, so he's got the camera angle down there if you want to watch it there. If you're listening on MixLR, we appreciate all your support. Thank you so much for your support of these young men and American Legion Baseball. Pitch to Jonathan. Breaking ball, front door, call to strike. Also saw Carter Cox's dad, Scott. Saw him earlier for tonight's game. Always good to catch up with him. Good guy. Knows a lot of baseball. Pitch from Gainey. Here it comes. Swung on and fouled off right at home plate. It took a bite out of Jonathan Barshow's right leg, and he'll walk off the butterflies. 2-2. Out to the Catawba Ridge Copperhead, Jonathan Barshow. I'm sure Coach Jimmy Jackson is listening tonight. My sincere hope, Coach, is that you have a ice cold one in one hand and the remote control in the other as the sun bakes you into a very nice tan. Pitch, front door miss, 3-2. Jimmy Jackson, a great guy. Love that guy. He's been real good to me over the years, been very supportive of what I've been trying to do for American Legion Baseball, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Pitch swung on a miss. Oh, he pulled the string on Jonathan, strikes out the last 2, and retires the side in order. We had the bottom of the first, Fort Mill nothing. Lancaster's coming up. As we head to the bottom of the first inning here at Post 31, Lancaster, South Carolina. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Athletic Director Mac Banks is in the house. Senior head coach Tom Skula in the third base dugout. I'm John Turner. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I want to go ahead and congratulate the junior team. They defeated Lancaster last night over at the Swamp, and that gave the juniors technically their third region championship in 3 years. Technically tied last year, but didn't have the tiebreaker, so quote unquote. But they are the league champions under Coach Mike Lewis, a 9-3 record. Very impressive team to watch. A lot of youth on that team, obviously, but a lot of really good players. And a tough league. Again, Lancaster, Winsboro, Fort Mill, Rock Hill, not for the faint of heart. So we head to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Nick Price on the bump. He'll be throwing a Drew Gaff. Eli Craddock's at third. Gabe Simmons at short. Cheeseball is at second. Scott Young's at first. Your outfield from left to right is Bartolotti, Barshow, and Chiz. First pitch in the front door for a strike. Nick Scholl's mom and dad are in the house. As more and more people stroll in. Fastball high and outside. Nick Christ, a Fort Mill graduate, headed to Curry College to play baseball. That's in Massachusetts. Pitch from Nick. Swung on a miss. And that's what he can do to batters. If you try to sit fastball on it, he'll come back with the breaking stuff, but he's also got that changeup and a two-seam that kind of has some late run and dip to it. So if you're trying to sit on the one thing, he will fool you. There's Uncle Charlie and Overcooked. And Nick's one of those players. He's actually a great guy. I love Nick Christ. He's one of these guys that will just be completely frank with you. He'll tell you, hey, I had the good breaking ball today. I didn't have the good breaking ball today. He just tells you exactly what he's feeling. Pitch swung on a line drive, left center field, coming over Barshow into the gap, but it will be Nico Bartolotti who will flash across and make the catch. So both left fielders flashing the leather here early on. One down for Peavy.
Now batting for both sides of Lancaster.
Number 2, Ryan Peavy.
Peavy, a very tall drink of water right-hander, pitch to him. Outside corner to knees. With something off speed. He's got the AJ logo on the front of his white batting helmet. Pitch from Christ. Swung on and hit foul onto the Mendoza Highway. 0-2. For those who don't know the story, Mendoza was a former major leaguer, and he always hit 200. That's the best he could ever do. So they call that the Mendoza line. The pitch swung on and drilled. Deep left field. This ball's got some carry. Nico near the fence, looks up, and it bangs off of the star signage over there for a double. It hit the A in Star, so about 2 more feet, it would have been out of here, but it's a stand-up double for Landon Peavy. He'll stand there with 1 out for Braden Small. That ball almost left the yard. And when it came off the bat with the way the wind is blowing, I was a little surprised it had that kind of carry. When we came in today, the wind was blowing in from right center field, not much, 8 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour, give or take. But I look over at the flags now, and they're completely limp. So in just this last 10 minutes, the wind has just completely died away. First pitch to Braden Small from Nick Christ. Breaking ball off the outside corner. As cars go up and down Highway 200 as people are getting off of work or going to work. 1-0 from Nick. Did he check his swing? They say he did not. The umpire did not even ask for an appeal. He said Mr. Small went around. Nick Christ asked Drew Gaff to run through the signs again with a runner at second, making sure nobody steals the signs. 1-1. Ooh, clips the front corner of the plate. Good pitch there from Nick Christ. The ball had some glove side run to it as well, running away from Braden Small. Now it's 1-2 to Braden. Pitch from Nick, breaking ball, trying to get into chase. Braden Small was wise to the move. We're in the bottom of the first, no score, but Lancaster has a runner in scoring position, only 1 out. Pitch from Nick Price. Swung on, and this one is drilled. Deep left field. Nico Bartolotti on his horse, and he will run it down about 20 feet inside the foul line left side. So Nico has had to get in his cardio early on in this game.
Number 10, Ashton Phillips.
So here's the cleanup hitter, Ashton Phillips. So if Lancaster's going to draw first blood, going to have to do it with 2 down. Pitch from Nick Price, swung on and fouled off, and I think he lost his thumb guard. Yes, little black piece of rubber that sometimes they will put on their thumb. It keeps them from getting blisters. And as he took that swing, it came flying off. Pitch from Nick Price. Breaking ball just off the outside corner. You might be able to hear the umpire. He's the kind of umpire that I absolutely love. When it's outside the zone, he'll tell you it's a ball, and he'll tell you where it was. Pitch from Nick. That one swung on, and a dribbler foul third base side. As Nick Price saws off Ashton Phillips. Sun setting off to our right. I would say 60% of the field's in the shade. Nick Price is in the shade. Mr. Phillips is in the sun. Pitch swung on and a hard ground ball, but a nice backhanded stab by Eli Craddock. Now they got the runner in the pickle. He goes to Jaeger. Now they're going to go back to Christ. He will try to tag the runner, but he missed the tag, but they're going to call him out for being out of the baseline. So that put out will go 5-4-1. Happens all the time, and it will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, a man left. We have the second inning. No score between Fort Mill and Lancaster. Welcome back, everybody, to Lancaster, South Carolina. Going to inning number 2, no score between longtime foes Lancaster and Fort Mill. Post 31, post 43. If you look at the standings right now, it says Rock Hill, Fort Mill, that you've got Winsboro and Lancaster. But again, look at the games played, look at the final scores. We talked about it before the first ball was even thrown. We had it on our podcast, shameless plug here. Our podcast, Mac Banks, myself, and the voice of the junior team, Keith Cook, called Mouthy Milltowners, and we talked about it before the first ball was even thrown, that it would be a dog-eat-dog kind of league, and it's turned out to be that way. Pitch, Gabe Simmons checked the swing on a slider off the corner for ball 1. And for what was a really hot, humid day, it's actually turned into a pretty decent night for baseball. Appreciate y'all making us a part of your Friday evening. Gainey's pitch swung on, and a worm burner to the third baseman. It squeezes between the legs. He's got to pick it up, throw to first. Bang, bang, play. Did he hold the bag? No. The umpire is standing right on top of it at first base, no more than 6 feet off of it. That'll go as an E5. Caroled off his glove, and it went right through. It was a nutmeg, and he looked to his left and then reached between his legs and realized the ball was there, but kind of panicked a little bit trying to pick it up with his bare hand. So the first base runner of the night for Fort Mill will be Gabe Simmons, and that'll bring up Sam Chiz. Pitch from Gainey at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. Sam will take a look at third base coach Jonathan Romano, who celebrated his 100th victory as an assistant coach for Post 43 earlier this week. So congratulations to JR. Travis Collier, a part of the staff as well. He's been here for the majority of Tom School's 147 victories. Coach Joel Riley, my dear friend, the Irish dude. Guy with the funny accent. The pitch, almost like a pitch out, way outside. Joel's a funny dude, though. But he does not. Don't ask him to say anything with an R in it, because it's going to come out ah. It's the funniest thing. But he makes fun of how we talk. Gabe dancing around. That's a balk. That's a balk. Both umpires called it right away. I saw exactly what he did. He came set, but then he flinched just a little bit. He went to make a motion, and both arms just kind of jerked a little bit. So that'll send Gabe Simmons to second. No argument from Lancaster. That pitch, outside corner at the knees, called a strike. And we're going to count to 1-2 to Sam Chiz. Louisville graduate. His dad, Ryan, was down below us to the right. Doing a great job. He's been quite the helper for us this summer. It's been great having him around. That pitch swung on and roped over JR's head. Foul. I was joking with Rock Hill assistant coach Jordy McCoy last night after game. I said, "Hey, you had 3 balls tonight that almost ripped your head off." And he said, "Man, this year I've had more foul balls whistle at me than he's had the previous years combined." It's just been that kind of year for Jordy. It's been that kind of year for JR too. Another 1-2, here it comes. A little bit off the corner. 2-2, the count to Chiz. Sam can play just about anywhere you want. He can play right field, left field. He can play the middle infield if you need him to. So can Nico Bartolotti. Both of them Clover Blue Eagles, very versatile. Pitch swung on and a ground ball to the third baseman. Nice job with the stab. Throw across the diamond. One hopper to the first baseman. Got him. Nice play. Stayed with it, but Adam Wright gets the out at first. So Gabe Simmons moves up to third base. He'll stand there with 1 out for Scott Young.
Now batting for Fort Mill, number 24, Scott Young.
So Scott Young looking for an RBI. Last time I checked, Scott was still in the top 3 in base hits on the team. Take a look and see what that is at the moment. Pitch off the outside corner for ball 1 to Scott. Fort Mill graduate. Goes to USC Union. So the hit parade for Fort Mill, you got Eli Craddock has the team lead, 1 ahead of Nico Bartolotti. Those two have traded places all year. That pitch swung on and drilled, but foul. So you've got those two, then drop down 3 more to Barshow, drop down 1 more to Scott Young, who's tied with Zach Jennings. So a tie for 4th on the team lead 4 hits for Fort Mill Post 43. A base hit right now would give Fort Mill the lead. Pitch to Scott. Fastball high and outside. 2 balls and a strike to Scott Young, whose younger brother Zach plays on the junior team and has had a pretty good week for Coach Mike Lewis. The 2-1 fastball outside corner bangs the black of the plate. The old Rolling Stone will make it 2-2. Gainey kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on. A little tapper past the mound. This will be good enough to score the run. Off balance through to first. Got him. Nice play defensively again by Lancaster. Getting the out will be Landon Peavy, but coming home to score will be Gabe Simmons. And the error comes home to roost. It's 1-0 Fort Mill.
Now batting for Fort Mill, number 9, Jager Pankowski.
But I'll bring up Cheese Ball. Jager Pankowski will dig in. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher for strike 1. So the error, the balk, then a couple of ground outs. It's 1-0 Fort Mill. Pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. 1-1 to Pankowski, Fort Mill graduate. Headed to the beautiful mountains of Brevard College in North Carolina. Pitch is swung on and a towering shot, but shallow center field. Out goes Reed Kazmierzak, and he will squeeze it, and that will retire the side. A run, no hits, one error, none left on. We had the bottom of the second inning. Fort Mill 1, Lancaster nothing. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. Headed to the bottom of the second inning here in Lancaster, South Carolina. Fort Mill post 43, Lancaster post 31. 1-0 Fort Mill as our score. And due up here for Lancaster. It's going to be 5, 6, and 7 in the order. That's Adam Wright, Jaden Young, Connor Griffin. Check swing on the first pitch. They appeal down the first base. Umpire says no, he did not. Pitch swung on and a hard ground ball that just goes foul right before the pillow. Trying to get that ball out of play. Nico will take care of that. Pitch from Nick Kreis. Breaking ball right on the outside corner. That's just nasty from Nick Kreis. Pitch swung on and another off-speed pitch. That one had Adam Wright out in front. So you think about it from a baseball perspective. What you don't want to do in this situation is speed up his bat. So be very careful with pitch selection. There's another breaking ball. That one's overcooked in the dirt, and it bangs off the chest protector of Drew Gaff. As the sun pops out from behind the clouds, now the field's back in the sunshine. That pitch is swung on, and a ground ball deep into the hole. It's short, and it caroms off the glove of Gabe Simmons. It will trickle into left field, and that will be the second base runner for Lancaster, the first error committed by Fort Mill. So after Fort Mill was gifted a base runner in the top of this inning, now Fort Mill returns the favor. Here's Jaden Young, the right fielder. Pitch from Nick Kreis, swung on and popped up sky high, shallow left field. Gabe Simmons says he's got it, and he does. That'll take care of Mr. Young. That'll bring up Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin's already made his presence felt tonight. He robbed Eli Craddock of a base hit to lead off the game. It was a rocket shot, looked like a surefire single, but Connor dove and stole it away. That pitch swung on and fouled over our heads. Foul. Runner at first, one down. It's 1-0 Fort Mill. Having fun on a Friday night at the old ballpark. Life's good, ain't it? Pitch. Fastball high and outside. We'll have the sun for 30 more minutes-ish. before it hits the tree line across the highway over to our right. That pitch is swung on. Two hopper to Eli. They'll go to second for one. Can they make the turn? Yeah. Oh, no. Called safe at first. So that will go as a fielder's choice. It will take care of Adam Wright at second. Connor Griffin will be at first, but now with two outs for Reed Kazmierzak.
Number 1, Reed Kazmierzak.
Bang, bang, play at first. Goes the way of Lancaster. Can they turn it into a run? No argument from Coach Skula or Coach Collier, so umpire got it right. Otherwise, those two would have made their feelings felt, as it were. Pitch sails high and inside. Pitch swung on and drilled in the left field, but it will hang up for Nico Bartolotti. He'll battle the sun and the elements, and he'll squeeze it, and that, my friends, will retire the side. No runs, no hits, one error, one left. We head to the third inning, 1-0 Fort Mill's the score. And you're listening to Post 43 Baseball on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network, powered by MixLR and YouTube. We head to the third inning, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you making us a part of your Friday night here in beautiful Lancaster, South Carolina. 1-0 is the score. Fort Mill with the slimmest of leads. Back out to the bump for Lancaster is Gainey. 2 innings pitched so far. No hits, the 1 run unearned, by the way, because of the E5. No walks, 2 Ks. Has only thrown 28 pitches, 19 strikes through 2 innings. But he finds himself behind at the moment. And leading off for Fort Mill will be Biscuit.
Leading on
Hunter
for Fort
Biscay.
Mill. Number 12, Hunter Biscay.
Pitch to Biscuit. Breaking ball off the outside corner. If you want a shout out or happy anniversary or happy birthday, please let us know. We'll be glad to do that for you. Pitch at the bottom of the zone, outside corner, bangs a strike to Hunter with a wry smile. 1-1 to count to Hunter Biscay, Clover graduate headed to Brevard College. Gamey brings the 1-1. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Mr. Biscay had some bad intentions with that swing. He was trying to send that one back to the Eagles' nest. 1-2 from Gainey. Swung on and popped out a plate foul. Good job by Biscuit of protecting the plate. There are games next week for Fort Mill Post 43 seniors. There is not, as far as I know, for Fort Mill Post 43 juniors. I think the juniors' regular season is done, I believe. The seniors have 2 games next week against these same P31s from Lancaster. The time is called at the last minute by Hunter. I believe Monday's game is at Fort Mill. Wednesday's game will be back here in the friendly confines of Post 31. Pitch from Gainey. Here it comes, and that has Hunter Nice little dance move to get out of the way of that high and tight cheese. Pitch from Hunter, fastball high and outside. And 100 to another, and Biscuit has earned a full count. What does Gainey come with here? Fastball high and outside, ball 4. Folks, that's the third free pass earned by Hunter Biscay in his last 4 at bats.
Now batting for Fort Mill.
So the leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row. Last inning it was Gabe Simmons, and he came around to score. Can Fort Mill turn the trick twice? Here's 9-hole hitter Drew Gaff. Catcher out of Fort Mill High School, headed to Phoenix College to play baseball. A long line of Fort Mill players to play college baseball. That ball is bunted, popped up, and a nice running play and a catch by Hunter Gainey. It was popped up first base side, and Hunter shows his athleticism. Goes to one knee right in front of the foul line and squeezes it for out number 1. We go back to the top of the order, and Eli Craddock.
Now batting for Fort Mill. Number 10, Eli Craddock.
Eli sent an absolute atom ball to left field, but Connor Griffin said, not up in here. And all Ken Griffin Jr. and Rob Eli have a base hit. Fastball outside corner, right above the knees, called a strike, much to the bemusement of Mr. Craddock. Hopefully, if things go well, I will have some exciting news for you folks here in the next week or so. Hopefully, that pitch is swung on and drilled. Deep left field, Connor Griffin going back in front of the track, reaches up and makes the catch. Second time tonight that Connor has taken away a base hit from Eli. Eli's just shaking his head like, what have I got to do? So 2 down for
Now
Nico
batting for Fort
Bartolotti.
Mill. Number 16, Nico Bartolotti.
Let's look it down here for Sherry. His mama looking for Brandon. I don't see them in the old ball yard tonight. I see Drew's mama down there. Pitch swung on and a hard ground ball deep in the hole at second. Nice job to dive for the second baseman, but as he comes up, he loses the ball on the transfer. Nice job by Reed Kazmierzak to dive and knock that ball down. But when he popped up, he went to transfer the ball from his glove to his hand, and the ball just popped out.
Number
I'm
8,
going to call that a base hit. So first and second, 2 down for Jonathan Barshow. And the official scorer agrees with me. See, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. I do get one right every once in a while. Just not that often. Pitch from Gainey. Swung on, fouled on the breaking ball. Jonathan tried to pull it. And Coach Collier comes out and points that way. It's in right center field. The right fielder swung all the way around near the line, maybe about 20 feet, 25 feet off the line. Center fielder is playing him straight up. So Coach Collier's right. Please don't tell him I said that, though, because he'll remind me of that until the cows come home. Pitch from Gainey, swung on and a worm burner right to the shortstop. He'll go to a knee, go to Reed Kazmierzak at second. That'll take care of Nico, and it will retire the side. No runs a hit, no errors. 2 left on base. We hit to the bottom of the third inning. Score remains Fort Mill 1 and Lancaster nothing. Back in a moment. Fort Mill Post 43 Baseball would like to say thank you to our sponsors in 2023, our shirt sponsor and diamond primary sponsor. That's Carter Lumber. 146 locations in 13 states to serve you, 3 in Charlotte, 1 in Rock Hill, and always at carterlumber.com. serving professional builders since 1932. Valentine and beyond moving at the platinum level. Whether it's a local, long distance, international, or commercial move, get a quote today. ValentineMoving.com or call 704-544-1800. Palmetto Family Hearing Center, our call to bullpen sponsor. They're dedicated to serving all their patients' hearing needs with expertise, technology, and personalized care. They're in the Milltown and in Lancaster and at PalmettoFamilyHearing.com. And Shelco LLC, the general contractor who provides a wide range of construction services, including planning, pre-construction, construction management, design, build, renovation, and BIM building excellence since 1978. Please, please, please support those who support Fort Mill Post 43 baseball. Bottom of the third inning. Designated hitter Carter Cox will lead it off. Graduate of Lancaster High School. He's going to play collegiately. I'm trying to say that right. Right down the road a piece. That pitch bangs in there for a strike. 2-1 the count to Carter. As I mentioned earlier, ran into his dad, Scott, before tonight's game. Always good to catch up with him. Pitch swung on and a two-hopper to Gabe Simmons, who smothers it. Throw across the diamond is a little offline, but Scott Young will get the tag on the way by. 1 up and 1 down, back to the top of the order, and catcher Brody Sanders.
Now batting for Lancaster, number 17, Brody Sanders.
Looks like the Atlanta Braves are back at it again tonight after a night off. They're beating up the fish. Matt Olson has gone yard again. They're in the bottom of the first in the ATL. Braves 3, Marlins nothing. First pitch, called a strike. Brody Sanders hit a rocket to Nico Bartolotti in the bottom of the first and got robbed of a base hit. Pitch swung on and a nice short hop stab by Pankowski. Throw to first in time. That's one of those in between. Sometimes an infielder will get caught. That's one of those in between. Sometimes an infielder will get caught on that. They'll try to back up and let the ball play them. Cheese didn't do that. He came up and took it on the short hop with a lot of confidence, did the old Olay, throws to first. 2 up and 2 down for Landon Peavy. So many times you see infielders take a step back and that ball just eats them up. That pitch swung on and popped up a mile high, shallow right field near the line. Coming over his chiz, he's going to have to play it on a hop. Fair by about 10 feet. That will be the second base hit of the night for Lancaster. Just off the end of the bat, but Peavy shows how strong he is. So the inning continues for Braden Small. Landon Peavy's 2 for 2 tonight, folks. He's halfway to the cycle. Double in the first, and now it's singles here in the third. Pitch swung on and popped up. Right side, Scott Young yells ball. Right behind the bag, reaches up, makes the catch. That'll take care of Small, and it will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to inning number 4. Score remains Fort Mill 1 and Lancaster nothing. Fort Mill, like to say thank you to our other sponsors here in 2023. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of South Carolina. You can shop plans, find an agent, get a quote, and so much more by simply going to SouthCarolinaBlues.com. Comporium at the gold level, whether it's internet, TV, security, wireless, or phone. Visit one of the many convenient Comporium locations in the Tri-County area or go to Comporium.com. Comporium, your friendly neighborhood tech giant. Allen Tate, where there's real estate, mortgage, insurance, or relocation, contact an agent today or go to AllenTate.com. Allen Tate, we are home. Founders Federal Credit Union, for all your financial needs, visit one of the many South Carolina Founders locations or go to FoundersFCU.com for all your financial needs. Relax. You're with Founders. Allstate Insurance, Carla Andrews, she's down below me here to the left. Blonde hair, lovely lady. She could be more than happy to talk to you about your insurance, whether it's auto, home, life, renters, or personal property. Visit her office in Indiana on Monday morning or call her at 803-802-2655. Allstate. Fort Mill fans, are you in good hands? Sonny's Barbecue. Visit their location off the the intersection of Highway 21 and Celanese Bypass. It helps if the broadcaster speaks English. Local pitmaster since 1968. Failed miserably. As we head to the 4th inning, 1-0 Fort Mill. Do up here for post 43. It's going to be 4, 5, and 6. That's Gabe Simmons, Sam Chiss, Scott Young. Thank you all for making us a part of your Friday night. Hope everybody is doing well. Here's Mr. Simmons. Pitch to Gabe, swung on and missed. Home run coming to breaking ball.
Gabe Simmons.
He reached on an error and came around to score the only run of the game so far. Gainey kicks and fires. Fastball bangs the inside corner right at the letters. 0-2 to Simmons. Wind picks up a little bit. As it tends to do in this ballpark, it changes direction as the sun starts to set. Pitch. Fastball high and outside, but Gabe checked the swing. 1-2 the count. When we came in, it was blowing straight in from right center field. Now, kind of blowing out towards the right field foul pole, somewhere around 5 to 7 miles an hour. Not much. Not much. And that's the deepest part of the ballpark, by the way. Pitch, swung on, chopper foul. Nice hands by Jonathan Romano. Back-to-back games, he's flashed the old air quotes leather, quote unquote. Pitch from Gainey, high and inside. Good eye from Gabriel. 2-2 the count. It's 334 down the left field line. It's 330 to the power alley in left field. 340 to the what I affectionately call the party deck out in center field. 322 to right center from center field. 322 to right center field. But here's where it gets interesting. Pitch swung on and a ground ball past the outstanding outreach glove of Gainey, but the second baseman Kazmierzak will glove it, throw to first in time to take care of Simmons. Gainey stuck the mid out, but just couldn't get there. But Reed Kazmierzak charges it. Take care of Gabe for out number 1. For Sam Chiz.
9:30 for fourth down. Number 11, Sam Chiz.
So about the ballpark. So 322 to right field, right, to the power alley in right field. 350 down the right field line. No, that is not a misquote. 350. Fastball high and inside. So you're asking yourself, well, wait a minute, JT. You said it's 340 to dead center. I did. So the right field foul pole is deeper than center field. Welcome to Lancaster. The pitch. Breaking ball off the outside corner. I'm not making fun of it. I'm actually glad it's shaped like this because ballparks that all look the same, they're just cookie cutter. They all look the same. That's boring. Pitch swung on and a hard ground ball right to the third baseman who smothers it. Nice job. You go to some ballparks and it's 360 to center and 310 down the line and blah, blah, blah. This one's got its own kind of story, if you will. It has its own personality. I know it sounds weird for ballparks to have a personality, but they do. And this ballpark, if it could tell stories, they'd be a mile long. I met a gentleman before tonight's game who's my age, and he was talking about when he used to play here and just all the stories he could spin about the guys who played and where they're at today. A lot of them, he said, are still a part of the community, which is great to hear. So 1-0. Going outside, 2-0 is the count. That's what you love to hear. Former American Legion baseball players giving back to the community that helped bring them up. Pitch, swung on and missed. Scott Young with a home run cut. 2-1 the count to Young. And I ran into somebody yesterday who actually was telling me about Scott Young's dad. Apparently, Matt was a pretty good player back in the day. That's the rumor on the street anyway. Pitch. Foul tipped off of the top of the chest protector. And the home plate umpire is going to give Brody a chance to catch his breath because that will take your breath away. I'll tell you a story about Matthew Young, though. I heard this story about him. He was a place kicker in football as well, two-sport athlete. He was a really good player, by the way. I'm not knocking him. He was good. 2-2 to Scott. Breaking ball scores 3-2. His nickname at South Carolina State was the Texas Highway because he could hit them long and straight. I love that story. Texas Highway. That a boy, Matthew. The pitch swung on and drilled into right center field. It's got some carry. The right fielder coming over near the fence, reaches up, makes the catch. And for the fourth time tonight, Lancaster flashes the leather, and Fort Mill goes in order for only the second time tonight. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Fort Mill 1, Lancaster nothing. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. Lancaster nothing. Headed to the bottom of the fourth inning here in beautiful Lancaster, South Carolina. Post 43 against bottom of the fourth inning here in beautiful Lancaster, South Carolina. Post 43 against post 31. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the order for P31. It'll be Phillips, Wright, and Young. The line score through 3.5. Not a whole lot to write home about as that fastball sneaks on the inside corner for strike one. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for Fort Mill. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Lancaster. Back-to-back fastballs, but that one missed high and inside. Coach Sanders having a conversation with the head umpire down the first base line. I think he's trying to politic his way into maybe a steak dinner. I'm not sure. Maybe he's picking his brain about his favorite place to eat here in the beautiful city of Lancaster, South Carolina. Which actually, that pitch is swung on and pulled foul onto the Mendoza Highway. One of the longest rivalries in sports in this state involves Lancaster. Who is the other team? The York Cougars, or who used to be called the York Cardinals or Green Dragons or Patriots. They had several names through the years before they became the Cougars, I believe in around 1982-ish in that area. 2-2 the count to Ashton Phillips. Pitch swung on and ripped foul. And it goes back to England, if you think about it, because how to pronounce Lancaster? It's not Lancaster. That's in Pennsylvania. Lancaster is in South Carolina. That's the old English way of pronouncing it. It's Lancaster. If you go to England, it's Lancashire. It's a different way of saying it. That pitch swung on and ripped through the whole left side base hit. Ashton Phillips, first base knock of the game. Third base hit of the game for Lancaster. Leading man aboard for the second time in 4 innings for post 31. See what they can do with the base runner with Adam Wright. Finish up that story. Basically, you have the White Rose City of York and the Red Rose City of Lancaster. And is there any love lost between the two? No, not really. A lot of respect, yes. Love, that pitch high and outside for ball 1. That pitch high and outside for ball 1. They can't even agree on what color rose. You know, what are we talking about? Pitch swung on and popped foul off the end of the bat. And folks, that foul ball is why I don't park anywhere near this particular set of grass, because these balls, when they go over this fence, this 6-foot fence, go anywhere. I'll park way the heck up the fence line, way over by the little building, in the shade. Breaking ball in the dirt, and I stop by Drew Gaff. That way, when I get to my truck at the end of the game, the cab of my truck isn't 120 degrees. As the door slams shut because of the wind picking up through the press box. Oh, the pitch. Fastball bangs in there for a strike, much to the chagrin of Adam Wright, who strenuously objected. Thank you. Thank you. Young man doing the public address announcing was kind enough to open the door back up for me. Breaking ball stayed high. Nick not quite on top of that one as he talks to himself. Now, the wind's picking up pretty well now. But the clouds that are starting to form are off in the distance. That pitch misses low, ball 4. First walk issued by Nick Kreis, but first and second, nobody out for Jaden Young. As soon as the young man introduces Jaden Young, struggling tonight. Here comes assistant coach Travis Collier. He will make the slow walk to the mound. This is to basically take the starch out of Lancaster, if you will, if you want to think about it that way. Try to change momentum, kind of slow everything down, kind of a reset for Nick Kreis. 3 hits so far for Nick, no runs to this point, 1 walk, no Ks, 51 pitches, 33 strikes. So a lot of gas in the tank. Having said that, there is action in the Fort Mill bullpen. It's lefty Nick Scholl. Back to the ominous clouds. They're off in the distance, which, based off my memory, is a whole bunch of nothing to worry about. If it's behind us and to the south a little bit, that's a different story. Going to turn around a bunt and going to pop it foul over towards the Lancaster on-deck circle, where Connor Griffin has a bat. Thank you, Nolan Collier, for that. Chance of Eddie echo around the park. Eddie Rosario hits a 2-run home run. Braves 5, Fish nothing. In the second, that pitch, change up on the outside corner at the knees for a strike. But just to be on the safe side, going to take a look at the old radar. The pitch is swung on. And hang off the bottom of the fence, coming around third and getting the go sign around third, coming home to score the tying run will be Ashton Phillips. That will be a stand-up RBI double for Connor Griffin, and we have a brand new ball game. We're now tied at 1. That ball was about 6 feet from being out of here. So give Jaden an RBI. Now second and third for Lancaster, and still nobody out. Nick Kreis out of the stretch. Breaking ball. Outside corner of the knees for a strike. Checking out the radar. Yeah, a whole bunch of nothing. Pitch swung on and a worm burner to Gabe Simmons at short. Looks home, but he'll fire to first. I'm not sure you would have gotten the runner coming down the third base line. Would have been a tag play, but it's a ground ball. It's an out, but it's also an RBI. And for the first time tonight, Lancaster has the lead. It's 2-1. So give Connor Griffin an RBI.
Number 1, Reed Kazimierczak.
Going to bring up Reed Kazimierczak. Pitch to Reed. Fastball almost clipped his left sleeve. So the 2 guys who reached with nobody out comes home to leads at 2-1. Pitch from Nick Kreis swung on, and here's a little Dutch snort that Jager Pankowski cannot glove out of the air. It was just like a little pitching wedge that was between Simmons and Pankowski. It'll be interesting to see how they score that. Should have been caught. And the first person to tell you should have been caught will be Cheese. I have to call that an E4. Second error of the night on Fort Mill. And the inning will continue. They're actually going to call that a hit. Okay. I don't agree, but okay. That pitch is swung on and popped up a mile high and out of play foul. And the ball literally hit Pankowski in the glove, like in the webbing. The ball actually hit off of the heel of the glove. talk to the official score after the game. Not sure about that one. That pitch a little bit low to Carter Cox. Designated hitter tonight. He's going to USC Lancaster to play college baseball. And Price will spin around and look at the runner at second. Nothing on there. Carter grounded out to short to lead off the third inning. So he's in the book 0 for 1. Looks at a breaking ball off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes to Carter Cox. It's 2-1 Lancaster here in the fourth. Pitch. That one's in the dirt. Overcooked the fastball. And now action in the Fort Mill bullpen is going to be number 19, Kyle Knoll. So you start to wonder how much gas is left in the tank for Nick Kreis. Runner takes off for third. The pitch is in the dirt, and it gets through the wickets of Drew Gaff. That will go in the book as actually a ball 4. It did not matter. Ball 4 to Carter Cox. Second walk issued in this inning, and that'll bring a visit to the mound by Coach Tom Skula, and that will be the night for Nick Kreis. Because this is the second visit. So Nick Kreis's evening will be done, but you cannot close the book on it because with expertise, cutting-edge technology, and the best care in the biz, they're in Fort Mill and Lancaster and always at PalmettoFamilyHearing.com. New pitcher for Fort Mill Post 43 is crafty left-hander Nick Scholl. So if you're using a scorebook, make your little squiggly line. And so Nick Kreis, so far, 3 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both walked, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Finished with 63 pitches, 40 strikes, faced 18 batters.
For Fort Mill is number 15, Nick Scholl.
So Nick Scholl, breaking ball specialist. His mom and dad are down to my left after they went on a very cool family vacation. They went to some very far-reaching places in Europe, had a big old time. Some of those pictures are just phenomenal. Matter of fact, some of those pictures don't even look like it's real. They just look like it's a painting of some kind. Just beautiful places around the world. Update in Major League Baseball. They're in the top of the third inning. It's a change in the score. Braves still have the lead, but it's been cut. It's 5-2. Padres over the Reds in the top of the 10th, 4-2. Nationals over the Phillies, 2-1 in the 7th. Brewers all over the Pirates in the 3rd, 4-0 the score. No score between Toronto and Boston. They're in the 4th. In the 3rd inning, Mets 2, Giants 1. And if you're looking for a free game to watch on the MLB app, you can do that with the Rangers and the Astros. They're about to get started, as are the Tigers and Rockies, Dodgers and Royals later on tonight, as are the Twins, Orioles, Yankees, and Cardinals, D-backs, Angels, White Sox, and A's, Rays, and Mariners. Score from earlier today, Chicago just destroys Cleveland. Chicago back to baseball and back to the top of the order. It'll be Brody Sanders with runners at first, second, and third. Ducks on the pond, white jerseys as far as the eye can see. Pitch, breaking ball swung on, and it seemed like a foul ball, but Jager's only got one play. It'll be the first. He'll make it, but that will score Jaden Young. Wasn't sure if it was fair or foul, but the umpire very quickly said a fair ball. So that'll be an RBI for Sanders, and Lancaster increases their lead. It's 3-1.
Now batting for Fort Mill Lancaster, number 2, Landon Peavy.
The line continues to move for Landon Peavy, and all he's done tonight is go 2 for 2 with a double and a single. He looks at ball 1. Pitch from Nick Scholl. Breaking ball outside corner knees. When Nick is going good, that ground ball is exactly what he gets. Ground ball after ground ball after ground ball. 1-1, swung on and missed. There's the changeup. And that's the problem when you face Mr. Scholl is you think it's a fastball count, and then all of a sudden he drops the changeup in the front door on you. Pitch, swung on and missed. That will take care of Peavy, retired for the first time tonight, and it will retire the side. But the damage done by Lancaster, they scored 3 times. They do it on the back of 1, 2, 3 base hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We head to the 5th inning. This game has changed on a dime. It's now Lancaster 3 and Fort Mill 1. Back in a moment here on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. We head to the 5th inning. Fort Mill with some work to do. It is 3-1. Lancaster with the lead. And due up here for Fort Mill Post 43, it will be Jacob Pankowski, Hunter Biscay, Drew Gaff, 7, 8, and 9 in the order for Tom Schoolis. P43s. Appreciate you tuning in tonight, whether it's on the MixLR app, Game Changer, or on YouTube. Gainey's still the pitcher, swung on and a 2-hopper right to the shortstop. He'll load up, throw across in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. The model of efficiency. And that will bring up Hunter Biscay.
Now batting for Fort Mill.
Walked to lead off the 3rd inning and was stranded at second. Fort Mill actually had first and second with 2 outs. I'm not able to stranded at second. Fort Mill actually had first and second with 2 outs. I'm not able to push more runs across. Right now, that is the difference in the game. Lancaster with the 2-run lead. First pitch to Biscuit. Fastball outside corner at the knees. Fastball outside corner at the knees. You hear the Fort Mill fans actually saying, "Come on, let's go, Biscuit." I bet you $5 they don't know what his real first name is. The pitch off the inside corner. Hunter lifts both his arms to get out of the way of it. Biscuit strong as an ox. The 1-1 from Gainey. Breaking ball off the outside corner. 2 balls and strike to Biscay. You could tell he was working for his pops earlier today. So was Eli. They came in with their work shirts on. They were dirty from head to toe. It was like they took a mud bath. The pitch, fastball, check the swing. No appeal. 3 balls and a strike. You ever heard the Brooks and Dunn song, "Hardworking Man"? Enough said. The pitch swung on and ripped over the third baseman's head and down the left field line. Hunter's going to hit the bag at first. He's going to make a big turn. He's going to chug for second. Play at second. The throw is not in time. A 1-out double for Hunter Biscay. He never hesitated, ladies and gentlemen. Hunter hit the bag at first, never hesitated, dropped it into 5th gear, and took off and beats the wrap. Connor Griffin got to that ball as quick as you possibly can, threw a 1-hopper to Kaz Mirzak. But Hunter beats the wrap. So runner at second, 1 down for Drew Gaff. This will push Gainey into the stretch. Fastball at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner for strike one. Drew tried to lay down a bunt back in the third. He popped it up. Trying to atone for that right now. Pitch from Gainey. Tried to throw a fastball again on the outer half. That one missed off the corner. 3-1 Lancaster as we play here in the top of the fifth. It's getting late early. It is 8:04 here on the East Coast. Pitch. A little bit low. 2 balls and a strike. Good eye by Drew Gaff. Eli Craddock has a war club and he lurks on deck. I want to say hello to his lovely mom and dad. They're in the beautiful city of Wilmington, North Carolina. The pitch swung on and ripped back up the box into center field for a base hit. Coach Romano is going to give the windmill. Hunter hits the bag at third. There's going to be a play at the plate, and Hunter is out. Nice relay coming in from center field. Nice throw there from Adam Wright. And the putout will go 8-2. So Busquet gunned down at home plate. Drew Gaff goes into second. He'll stand there with 2 outs, and we're going to have a visit to the mound by Coach Sanders, and I think that'll be the night for Gainey. Actually, a few changes to tell you. The courtesy runner at second base for the catcher, Drew Gaff, is going to be number 1, Drew Brink. That's the first change we'll tell you about. There's a new pitcher on the mound. So another Palmetto family here in center call to the bullpen here for Lancaster post 31. So we're going to have a couple of changes to tell you about, actually. Kaz Mirzak is going to go out into the outfield. So it looks like Gainey's going to hand the ball to Jaden Young. So we're going to have a new right fielder. That's going to be Reed Kaz Mirzak. So the question I have is will Mr. Gainey stay in the game? I think he will. So Gainey right now, 4 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 1 hit, unearned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 66 pitches, 41 strikes. He too faced 18, just like Fort Mill starter Nick Christ did. From one right-hander to another. Although Mr. Young, more of a slender build than his counterpart. But he will come on here with a runner at second and 2 down in the top of inning number 5. Palmetto Family Hearing Center dedicated to serving all their patients' hearing needs with expertise, cutting-edge technology, and the best customer service in the biz. I do have an announcement from a broadcasting standpoint. First of all, I'll finish the hello. Mama and Papa Craddock, they're in Wilmington. They're watching Andrew Craddock, as we call him, Baby Craddock, air quotes, even though Andrew's taller than his brother. Andrew's not a small guy. But Baby Craddock playing in a tournament, so I hope they're having a good time. Programming note, on July the 18th, it's a Tuesday, I will not be broadcasting that night. It more than likely will be a road game for Fort Mill Post 43. I will not be on the air that night, and it is for medical reasons, unfortunately. I'm having a second ablation done, but in order for it to be done through insurance, I have to do what they call a temporary, air quotes, so they're going to inject and do a nerve block temporarily to see if I get relief in the C4 and C7 in your neck. And if that goes well, I'll have another one on the 25th. And then that first Tuesday in August, they'll go in and they'll burn that bad boy. So the 18th, I'll be sedated a little bit. And they said that I'm not supposed to drive. So if I can't drive, I think that going on the air probably isn't a good idea. But that's just one humble man's opinion. It'd be a lot of gobbledygook, which it normally is. That fastball all the way to the backstop off the glove of the catcher. So the first pitch out of the hands of Young is an inauspicious start. That will go as a wild pitch, and that will send Drew Brink to third. He'll stand there, but with 2 down. So I just want to let everybody know that in advance. Again, that's probably going to be a road playoff game for Fort Mill, so will not be on the air for that. Another programming note behind that as well. That pitch swung on and popped up a mile high left side. Will it stay in play? Third baseman over near the on deck circle and right by Coach Collier. And he points, and actually no catch because he was over the white line. There's a painted white line that goes from the front end of the dugout towards the fence left side, and he had both feet over that line. Now, here's the rule on that. If he steps over the line but has 1 foot in the air or 1 foot in fair territory, that is a catch. If both feet actually touch over the white line, which they did, that is out of bounds and is not a catch. It simply goes as a strike, and it's 1-1 to Eli Craddock. Pitch swung on, and this one's popped up foul. So on June the 11th, I will not be on the air for that as well. That is not for medical reasons. That's for business reasons. I'm very proud and humbled to say that WRHI, the OTS Sports Network, has brought me back for another year of high school football in South Carolina, and I am humbled and honored and glad to be a part of that team again. That's a lot of fun with some great broadcasters. That pitch swung on. It popped up on the infield. Jaden Young has it, and that'll take care of Craddock, and it will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on for Fort Mill. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, Lancaster 3 and Fort Mill 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the Red Rose City of Lancaster, South Carolina, 3-1. Home team with the lead. Finish that thought. July the 11th is affectionately known as Meeting on the Lake. The co-owner of WRHI and WRHM and the OTS Media Group is Mr. Alan Miller. He is the big cheese. Him and Manning Kimmel are co-owners of the station. And all of his idiot broadcasters, we all get together. So it's one big dumb fest, actually, on a Tuesday at his house. That pitch off the corner. He feeds us well. There's some libations there, a whole lot of chatter about, you guessed it, sports. Because when we're done watching and talking about sports, we talk about, well, more sports. That pitch outside the zone to the leadoff batter here for Lancaster, and that is Braden Small. So that meeting is that night. It's at 5:30. So, and it goes till about 8 o'clock, where they go over expectations. They go over any changes that were made. We vote on who the new Hall of Famer will be, and then we get our assignments for the 2023 season. And it's very, very exciting time. Very, very excited to be back on the team for that. And that is a 4-pitch walk to Braden Small to lead off the bottom of the 5th.
Number 10.
Here's Ashton Phillips' first walk issued by Nick Scholl. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what assignments get handed down. This will be the first years I'll be able to actually be a part. That pitch outside corner, he's called a strike. The first football game of the season is a preseason game. It's a set of games at District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill called Football City USA Kickoff. The pitch swung on and popped up on the infield. Who wants it? Pankowski says he's got it, but Simmons will call him off and make the catch for out number 1. That thought here, which is because of my daughter, who is a rising senior at the College of Charleston. She's actually staying in her same apartment, so no moving this year. So I don't have to be in Charleston on that Friday night. So I get to be a part of high school football in the Football City USA kickoff. And boy, the teams this year are big time. That pitch is swung on and hit deep in the hole at second, but Pankowski will range to his left, will make the play on the one hopper as that ball had a lot of top spin on it, but she stayed with it. That'll be out number 2 for Jaden Young, the pitcher. Although I will have to admit to you, I love broadcasting football. The way I like to tell people is this: I love football, but I'm in love with baseball. Live and breathe baseball. Breaking ball right in the front door from Nick Scholl for strike 1. Jaden Young is 1 for 2 tonight, but with a double, a run scored, and an R from Nick Scholl for strike 1. Jaden Young is 1 for 2 tonight, but with a double, a run scored, and an RBI. Pitch from Scholl. Breaking ball in dirt. Nice job of closing the 5-hole by Drew Gaff. As the sun goes down, the temperature drops a little bit, and the wind has died down as well. A warm but pleasant evening. That pitch is swung on and fouled over our heads. A ball and 2 strikes to Jaden Young, who's now the pitcher for Lancaster. But the pitcher of record at the moment will be Mr. Gainey, who started the game tonight. Runner takes off for third. The pitch is swung on and missed, and a drop third strike. They're going to throw to first, and Drew Gaff will make the play, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the 6th inning. Score is still Lancaster 3 and Fort Mill 1. You fine folks are listening and watching Fort Mill Post 43 baseball on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. Fort Mill Post 43 baseball on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Red Rose City of Lancaster, South Carolina. The home team with a 2-run lead is 3-1 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Jaden Young still on the mound for Lancaster. Post 31, due up here for Fort Mill Post 43. In the top part of the order, it'll be Bartolotti, Barshow, Simmons, 2, 3, and 4. Fort Mill with a lot of work to do to get back into this one. Fort Mill scored its lone run in the 2nd inning. It was an error and a couple of ground outs. Plus a balk. So manufactured a run, and then the hit parade from Lancaster scored 3. That's where we stand. Kyle Knoll, former Indian Warrior and current Erskine player, he's warming up in the pen for Fort Mill. We might see him next half inning. Here's Nico, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Pitched to Nico, fastball high and inside. Strikeout and a base hit. So Bartolotti is now tied with Eli Craddock for the team lead in hits. The 1-0 to Bartolotti in the zone for a strike. 1-1 the count to the Clover graduate, recently committed to Brevard College. So think about that for a second. Nico Bartolotti, Hunter Brisquet, and Jager Pankowski all in the same room at Brevard College. It's a scary thought. That pitch is in the dirt. There'll be a whole lot of shenanigans going on in that room. Studying, what's that? Actually, I'm kidding. All three of those guys are really good students, and they work extremely hard at the game of baseball and academics. That pitch in the dirt, nice eye by Nico Bartolotti. And there's one thing we've learned about Nico over the last 2 years and this summer. He has a great idea of the strike zone. And he just knows how to hit. Pitch from Jaden. Looked outside the zone, but called a strike. That'll load it up at 3-2. Pitch from Jaden Young to Nico. That's in the dirt. That's ball 4. So Bartolotti reaches for the second time. Leading man aboard for Barshow, which brings the tying run to the plate. Not necessarily looking for the long ball, but if Barshow can get a hold of one, I'm not going to eject. But at this point in time, you're just hoping for a base hit, a walk, hit that or something. Get the tying runs on base for the heart of the order, because Simmons is next. Pitch from Young. That pitch is swung on and roped in the deep left field. Connor Griffin going back, turns around and makes another fantastic catch. Connor Griffin, for the third time tonight, robs a Fort Mill batter of a hit. That ball was smoked, but Connor goes back, turns his hips, reaches up, and makes the catch. One down for the aforementioned Gabe Simmons. Wow. 3 scalded dogs that Connor Griffin has ripped out of the air. Gabe is 0 for 2. He reached on an error and has scored the lone run for Fort Mill tonight. Fastball on the outside corner, just below the belt for strike 1. Lights are on, but there's still plenty of sunlight in the sky. That pitch stayed high. 1-1 to Gabe. I was checking with him before the game. Coach Riley asked him how long he's had that haircut. And I was like, 4 years. I told him he looks like Eddie Van Halen. The pitch, high and inside. I'll spin him out of the way. 2-1. It's a compliment, by the way. Enjoy that flock of hair, Gabe, because you get to be my age, and that starts to go away a good bit. The 2-1 swung on and popped out of play foul. 2-2. Gabe had a pitch to hit, just missed it. 2-2 is the count. Runner at first, 1 down. Lancaster up by 2. 3-1 here in the 6th. The plate umpire says play ball. Average lead at first by Nico. I don't think he's going anywhere. Down by 2 in the 6th. Pitch swung on and hit high in the air, deep right field, but coming over is Kazimir Zach. He will drift into the gap, and he will catch it for out number 2. So Fort Mill's going to scratch a run, going to have to do it with 2 outs for Sam Chiz.
Now batting for Fort Mill, number 11, Sam Chiz.
Sam is 0 for 2 tonight. Both putouts by the third baseman. On a beautiful Friday night. The last Friday in the month of June. Hard to believe. Pitch from Jaden Young. That ball's roped. Quick foul. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in tonight wherever you may be across the fruited plains and around the world, on YouTube and on the MixLR app and on Game Changer. Pitch from Jaden Young is a fastball outside the zone, high and a little bit off the corner. Ball and a strike to Clover graduate Sam Chiz. Pitch. Sam twists out of the way of that one, but it clips the front corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. Jaden Young brings it. That pitch is swung on, and a worm burn to the shortstop. He'll go the short way, the second to retire Nico Bartolotti, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base. We have the bottom of the sixth inning. Lancaster 3 and Fort Mill 1.
We have a pitching change.
Pitching change for Fort Mill Post 43. It's another Palmetto Family Hearing Center call. The bullpen, the new twirler for Fort Mill, is tall, lanky left-hander Kyle Knoll, Erskine College and a graduate of Indian Land High School. Kyle, just an outstanding young man, very friendly, easy to talk to, always picking coaches' brains about how to get better, and just a really great pitcher. He's added a changeup out of the same slot. He brings that slider, comes across his body. So a lot of batters, especially left-handers, give up on that pitch, and it just comes back all the way inside into the zone. He can either clip it on the outside or bring it all the way. The fastball deceptively fast because, again, that slider comes across along with a little bit of drop in it, and here comes the changeup. Now all of a sudden that fastball looks 5 to 7 miles an hour quicker. Kyle is a tall drink of water. By the way, his younger brother is on the junior Fort Mill Post 43 team, and we're thrilled to death and tickled pink to have Kyle and his brother as part of Post 43 baseball. This is Kyle's second year, and he is ready to go. First batters that he will face for Lancaster, it'll be 7, 8, and 9. Griffin, Kazmierzak, Cox. No changes defensively for Fort Mill. As Fort Mill basically down to its final 3 outs. And a loss tonight would pretty much seal it. No, it wouldn't pretty much. It would absolutely seal it. Rock Hill would win the league. Fort Mill would finish second. But if I understand the standings correctly, a Lancaster win would put them right there with Winsboro for that third spot in the league. Now, you could ask the question, well, what does that really mean? Does it mean a whole lot? Yes, it can, because it's the difference between a 3 seed and a 4 seed. The 4 seed is a longer and harder road to hoe. Think about it. If you're the 4 seed, you're going to go to a 1. So you're going to go to, for example, a Greer who won their league. You're going to go to a Florence who won their league. It's a lot harder road to get to the second round when you're a 4 seed. Not that it's easy over the 3 seed, but it is a little bit easier. And the first pitch from Kyle Knoll is actually not made, as he never delivers the baseball. He went all the way through his motion, but then didn't deliver the baseball. And now he takes a deep breath and he walks off the side of the mound, and I don't think that's a good sign. Coach Collier comes out of the dugout in a hurry to talk to Kyle Knoll, kind of pats him on the backside a little bit, having a little chat with him. Going to do some maintenance on the pitching mound and kind of talk to Kyle about what's going on. Coach Skula also concerned. And very quickly, Drew Brink grabs a baseball and will begin to warm up in the Fort Mill bullpen. And right now, the concern is all about Kyle Knoll. Is he okay? Usually see a pitcher do that. That's normally a sign that they've injured themselves, but I'd hope that's not the case. Hopefully he just scared himself a little bit. And now the home plate umpire is going to join the conversation here, but I think this is clearly a medical visit. So if you're thinking this counts as quote unquote a visit, no. It's when you're talking about medical reasons, that doesn't count as a quote unquote visit, I don't think. But I'm sure Coach will get clarification on that. But Mr. Knoll is going to stay in the game. That's good to see. Stepping back into the right-handed batter's box will be left fielder Connor Griffin, who has put on a defensive show tonight out in left field. He's been spectacular defensively. Pitch swung on to this one, roped in the left center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Barshaw's got to cut it off, got to get it in quickly, and that will hold Connor to a leadoff single. Connor Griffin's first base knock of the night, and the leadoff man aboard again for Lancaster. This will be 1, 2, 3. For the fourth time in 6 innings, Lancaster has leadoff man aboard. We'll bring up Kaz Mirzak, and he swings at the first pitch, and it's a little duck snort out in the right field, but Sam Chiz will glide towards the infield, and he'll squeeze it. There's been 2 pitches. There's been a base hit and a pop-out. We got the 9-hole hitter, Carter Cox. Carter is a very versatile young man. He can play a litany of positions. He can pitch. Boy, can he swing the bat. Pitch swung on and missed. Former Lancaster Bruin. I don't know, out of the stretch with a runner at first, and now time is called by Carter. I think he got something in his eye. Pitch inside corner of the knees. Carter strenuously objects. 0-2. Count to Carter Cox. 3-1 your score. Bottom of the 6th. Pitch from Kyle Knoll. Swung on and whistled foul and out of play, and it will stay. No balls and 2 strikes. Lancaster looking for some insurance formula, trying to keep post 31 right where they're at. Pitch from Kyle Knoll. Here it comes. Swung on and just a little pop foul over our heads. I thought it was going to bang off the roof of this joint for just a second, but it did not. Kyle Knoll shakes off the first few signs from Drew Gaff. Now he's got one he likes. Another 0-2. High inside. Backs Carter off the plate just a bit. After Carter, we're going to go back to the top of the order. And Brody Sanders. Runner at first, 1 down. Pitch off the outside corner, 2-2. Kyle takes a deep breath, kind of relaxes a little bit. Now he comes to the belt. 2-2. Too far inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We had Carter down 0-2. Now it's 3-2. Deep breath from Kyle Knoll. The payoff. Swung on and chopper third base side, but it will go foul before it reaches Eli Craddock. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight, wherever you may be, across the fruited plains and around the world on the MixLR app or on YouTube or on Game Changer. Mr. Ryan Chiz is down there with his, what I call the spider, which is his camera sitting on top of the, or right on the fence, the chain link fence here at Lancaster. Another payoff. Too far inside, ball 4. What an at bat from Carter Cox. Down 0-2, comes back and coaxes a walk. So first and second. Back to the top of the order in the aforementioned Brody Sanders. By the way, that's the second free pass tonight that Carter Cox has coaxed out of Fort Mill pitching. So first and second for Mr. Sanders, who is 0 for 3, 2 ground outs, but has an RBI beside his name. Pitch from Knowles, swung on, just a very weak pop foul onto the Mendoza Highway. Drew Gaff flashing the complicated signs, as it were. Pitch from Kyle. Swung on and roped in the left field for a base hit. Let's see what coach decides to do. Getting to it quickly and a throw in by Nico Bartolotti, cut off by Eli Craddock. That'll save a run, but the bases are loaded and only one down for Landon Peavy.
Number 2, Landon Peavy.
Landon's 2 for 3 tonight. And with one swing of the War Club right here, could pretty much put this one to bed. Ducks on the pond and only one down. And Kyle Knoll most definitely in the suit. Pitch swung on and popped up a mile high. Right field, shallow, coming over Barshow into the gap. He'll make the catch. Will the runner tag at third? The throw home is going to be a good one, but not in time. Tagging up and scoring, Connor Griffin give an RBI to Landon Peavy, and it's 4-1. Nice job by Connor Griffin to tag at third and beat the wrap. So the leadoff base hit pays off for Lancaster. We'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, Braden Small. Runners at first and second, 2 down. Pitch is swung on and rifled. Right field, fairly deep. Sam Chiz into foul territory will run out of real estate as it falls just on the other side of the fence. As we stated earlier, next games up for Fort Mill will be on Monday and Wednesday against Lancaster. Monday night's at Fort Mill High School. Wednesday night will be right back here, and then that will put a bow on the regular season. Then the playoffs begin. The playoffs begin Monday following. Pitch swung on, and this one's hit high in the air, but foul right side, and it's 0-2 to Braden Small. Be July the 10th will be the first playoff game for Fort Mill Post 43, both seniors and juniors, by the way. Pitch from Kyle. That swung on and roped into center field, but Jonathan Barshow will jump in the air and make a nice defensive stab. That saved a couple of runs, and it will retire the side. But Lancaster with another run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. Last chance saloon for Fort Mill. We head to the 7th inning. Lancaster 4 and Fort Mill 1. Back in a moment on the We Are Fort Mill Broadcasting Network. Headed to the 7th inning. Last chance saloon for Fort Mill Post 43. Lancaster with the 3-run lead. It's 4-1 your score. Jaden Young still on the bump. He came in relief of Hunter Gainey. But in my opinion, Hunter is still the pitcher of record. Lancaster holds on to win. I think Gainey earns the win. And I think that Jaden Young will earn the save because he, quote-unquote, faced the tying run, which he did. And leading it off here for Fort Mill, it's going to be Scott Young, Jager Pankowski, Hunter Biscay, 6, 7, and 8 in the order for Post 43. Pitch to Scott. Fastball inside corner. Called a strike. Scott tonight is 0 for 2, but with a RBI. That ball is in the dirt. 58-footer almost takes a bite out of the home plate umpire. 1-1 the count. Pitch from Young, swung on and missed. So Young to Young, Jaden to Scott, and Jaden wins that particular battle. It's 1-2. Fort Mill just looking for base runners to kind of get the line moving. Breaking ball, swung on, and here's a little Ric Flair. Woo! Out in the right field. Off the end of the bat, but Scott Young able to muscle it, and Scott Young wins that battle. Leadoff man aboard for Fort Mill. Will Coach School take Scott down or keep him in the game? He's the first baseman, but Fort Mill has options. That'll bring up Jager Pankowski. Cheese has popped out and grounded out. Right now, just looking for a base hit. Just Scott has got the line started. Just keep it moving. That pitch flips the front corner right above the knees for strike one to Pankowski. Pitch from Jaden all the way to the backstop on the fly. And it's only one hit. And you look at tonight, 1 run on only 4 base hits. That pitch nowhere near. And Pankowski will toss the bat away, and that'll be a walk. And that, my friends, will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Hunter Biscay. Drama. As he gets some good-natured ribbing from his own teammates. Biscuit will dig in the right-handed batter's box. Pitch from Jaden Young, fastball outside corner, called a strike. Scott Young's at second, Pankowski's at first. Pitch from Jaden Young, split the plate but missed low. Good eye from Biscuit. It's 1-1. Lancaster looking for an out. Fort Mill trying to keep the line moving. The 1-1. Inside corner at the knees, called a strike. It's 1-2. Now Biscuit's got to go into protect mode. He'll choke up on that bat a little bit, spread out. The 1-2 swung on and hit a mile high, but foul. Into the trees on the embankment. Third base side. Want to give a shout out to my friend Sherry, who's going to put the American Legion logo on the coach's shirts. She's one of the co-owners of Names in a Hurry. They do a great job. She's done work for us before and done work for me as well. The shirts that I wear, the blue and the gray shirts, she's the one that designed them. Names in a Hurry. They're off Highway 160 in Indian Land. That pitch swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. As soon as you cross the Sugar Creek Bridge coming out of the Milltown, Names in a Hurry is on the left before you get to Barbersville. I have that logo put on the sleeve before the playoffs roll around. Another 1-2 to Biscuit. Swung on and hit a mile high deep. Connor Griffin going back in front of the wall will slow up and he'll make the catch. Scott Young's going to tag, but he'll boogie back to the bag at second. And a nice job again by Connor Griffin. He has been outstanding defensively tonight.
Now batting for Fort Mill.
Went back on that one. He actually settled under it and then backed up a couple of steps. So when he caught the ball, he was coming forward with his momentum and fired a bullet to third. So first and second, one down for Drew Gaff. When it first came off the bat, I thought maybe it had a chance, but you got to get it above the tree line in this park to send it out that way. Pitch. Caught the corner of a miss low for ball one. Drew Gaff is 1 for 2 tonight. Jaden Young brings the 1-0. Fastball high and inside, 2 balls. And no strikes to Drew Gaff. Moved in from Colorado to Fort Mill, South Carolina. Boy, howdy, are we happy about that. Great young man, very bright, great catcher. That pitch high and inside, 3-0 the count to Drew. 3-0 the count to Drew. Tickled Pink, he's part of Fort Mill Post 43. (3-0 to Gaff, taken all the way. That pitch bounces in front of the catcher, and that'll be a walk to Drew Gaff. And now ducks on the pond. Bases are loaded, and time is called. And I think we're going to have a runner for the catcher. We will. So a courtesy runner at first will be number 1, Drew Brink. So Brink, and now a timeout is called as Coach Sanders will jog to the mound. Will he make a Palmetto Family Hearing Center call the bullpen, or is this just to take the steam out of Fort Mill's offense? It could be 2 for the price of 1, as it were. An update in Major League Baseball. It's in the bottom of the 5th. It is all Braves. It's 10-3 Atlanta over the Fish. So here it's bases loaded, and there are going to be some changes for Lancaster Post 31. You know the change for Fort Mill. So Scott Young's at third, Jager Penkowski at second, Drew Brink, the courtesy runners, at first. Jaden Young will come off the mound for Lancaster. So now what are the changes for Post 31 as guys are changing gloves as well? And here come, I think that's Reed Kazmierzak coming out of the outfield. So Jaden Young's going to stay in the game. So Hunter Gainey is going to come back into the game and play first, which I didn't think you could do that. I thought there was no re-entry. He did start the game as the pitcher, but came out of the game and didn't stay in. Not that I'm aware. The pitcher for Lancaster, nonetheless, is number 17. That's Brody Sanders. So there'll be a new catcher. Okay, now I'm starting to understand what's going on. So Sanders will go from catcher to pitcher. Gainey will play first.
We're going to pitching change, folks. The new pitcher for wholesale Lancaster is number 17, Brody Sanders.
All right, so I think what's going on here is Jaden Young will stay in the game. He'll move back to right field. Reed Kazmierzak will move from right to second. Brody Sanders will move from catcher to the mound. And now the catcher for Lancaster, I'm trying to see the number on the young man's back. I don't think it's Peavy. Let me take a look around the infield here. Kazmierzak at second. Hunter Gainey is at first. Jaden Young now in right field. And Adam Wright will still be at third. So the only thing that does make sense is that is Peavy behind the plate. Kind of hard to see with the catcher's gear on, but that could be it too. All right, so let's go over the changes again. So Jaden Young will move off the mound. He'll move back to right field. Reed Kazmierzak will move from right to second. Hunter Gainey back into the game, which, again, I wasn't sure you could do that. But anyway, back in the game, he's at first. Landon Peavy is now the catcher and the pitcher for Lancaster post 31. Try to close it out for Coach Sanders and the P31s. It's going to be number 17, Brody Sanders. So Brody Sanders, the first guy he will face is the top of the order. That's Eli Craddock. So Sanders will go out of the windup with ducks on the pond. First pitch to Craddock. Here it comes. Swung on, and there it goes. Deep left field. Connor Griffin goes back. He'll make the catch. That'll be the second out. Tagging up and coming home to score will be Scott Young. That's the lead in half. It's 4-2, but another outstanding catch by Connor Griffin. And, folks, that's the third time tonight Connor Griffin has taken a base hit away from Eli Craddock. That was a scalded dog.
Number 16, Nico Bartolotti.
And the last hope for Fort Mill will be left fielder Nico Bartolotti. The score is 4-2. The runner at second is Pankowski. Drew Brinks at first. His walk tonight. A single or a walk would do just fine. Thank you very much. Pitch. Fastball stays high. 2 balls and no strikes to Nico Bartolotti. First and second, 4-2 Lancaster with the lead. They took the lead in the fourth, and they have yet to surrender it. The 2-0. Bottom of the zone, right over the heart of the plate. It's 2-1. They're playing him to pull to right. Pitch to Nico. Swung on and a hard ground ball at the middle, but the second baseman, Kazmierzak, will go to second. Ball game. The 4-6 ground out will end the game. Your final score, Lancaster 4 and Fort Mill 2. Your final line score, Lancaster with 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Fort Mill with 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. Fort Mill will drop to 8-6 overall, but with the loss gives Rock Hill the league championship. Fort Mill will finish in second place no matter what happens next week. The next game up for Fort Mill Post 43 will be on Monday night, back home in the friendly confines of the Hive. 7 o'clock first pitch against Lancaster, and then the regular season finale next week, next Wednesday, 7 o'clock back here in Lancaster. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We're going to be across the Fruita Plains. Your support means a lot to me. Really, really appreciate it very, very much. You fine folks are the reason I sit in this chair. Hope everyone has an outstanding weekend. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I'm sure you're not a fan of the final score, but nonetheless, hey, tip of the cap to a very tough team as Lancaster defeats Fort Mill tonight by a final score of 4-2. On behalf of Athletic Director Mac Banks, Senior Head Coach Tom Skula, I'm John Turner, voice of Fort Mill Post 43 Seniors. Until Monday night, so long, everybody.